Welcome, everybody. The NFL season is over, which means it's time to look forward to the NFL offseason, and that includes mock drafts. Today, we'll be looking at a Los Angeles Chargers 2023 NFL mock draft. The Chargers are up in our 2023 NFL mock draft series. Last season, they made the playoffs but suffered that big comeback loss to the Jaguars. They'll be looking to correct that this season. They have some cap space work to do. They're trying to figure out what players to keep, what players not to. They have a lot of good players on the roster. So we'll see what they do, but the draft is an exciting time for them as well because they can really improve their roster even if they do lose some of these guys or don't have the most cap space. So we're going to get into it right now. We have the NFL Mock Draft Database Simulator. I like it because the players are in the draft or in this simulator. The ones going back to college are not in the simulator. That's not the same case for all the mock draft simulators out there. We're also going to be declining all trades in this mock draft. It just keeps it more real for the time being. There will be trades before we get to the NFL draft, but it just keeps it more, I guess, realistic for the time being when we just don't know what those trades are going to be. We'll see what the Chargers can do with their picks. We're going to start it off with pick number 21. We are going to see some people maybe fall in these mock draft simulators that really won't fall, maybe quarterbacks of the like, something like that. But we do have pick number 17 or pick number 21 up here. There's a lot of interesting things going on here because I don't think two of these guys, I don't think Paris Johnson Jr. or Peter Skoronski are going to be there. If they are, I think you might have to think about taking them. That means you move Jamari Salyer inside and you put one of them at right tackle. For that reason, I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go with Peter Skoronski. And that way, depending on which player you take, you can move Salyer inside, you can move Skoronski inside because Skoronski was actually recruited as the center. He ended up playing left tackle for Rashawn Slater. Once Rashawn Slater sat out his last season of college eligibility, got ready for the draft, and then was drafted by the Chargers. So I think he's a more versatile guy. You can kind of move him inside if you want. You can. Overall, it's just going to really make your offensive line a lot better. So I really do like that pick. We'll move on to the second round, pick number 54. And we're going to go with Mazi Smith, defensive lineman out of Michigan. Could also go with Tuli Tuipulotu. But I think Mazi Smith on that defensive line can really help stop the run. Stopping the run has been something the Chargers have struggled with over the past couple of years. You shore up that defensive line. I think it can go a long way. So you get the offensive defensive line, a lot of help there. I think the prevailing thought might be maybe this is just mock draft people who really want to see this offense really just go to the next level. Want a wide receiver in round one, but I think if you have one of those offensive tackles on the board, you got to go for it. So that's why we maybe don't have a wide receiver yet, but let's see what wide receivers might be available still. Cedric Tillman would be an interesting one. I think the Chargers probably want someone with more speed, but he might be a guy we go after. We'll see who else is left here overall. Noah Sewell, more of an old school linebacker. Deion Henley can play linebacker. I think more, probably good value. I guess we'll go Deion Henley, the linebacker out of Washington State. Maybe they can get a speedster wide receiver in free agency, but you already have Mike Williams. You have Keenan Allen. So we'll see. Maybe we can get a slot guy. Slot guys typically fall in the draft. We'll see what we can get. See if there's anyone left here. Yeah, let's go with Jaden Reed, the wide receiver out of Michigan State. He had a pretty good combine. He's a guy who I think's made a lot of highlight reel catches. I think he can move into the slot. A guy who can really help this offense out from day one. He can battle with guys like Josh Palmer. We'll keep it rolling here in round number 5. Pick number 158. This is a tough one here too because we've already, I mean, you could go running back here, get more running back depth, but I think there's just a lot on the board. Let's go with, let's see if there's any tight ends left still. Maybe a little bit too early for Zach Kuntz, who's a guy I'd be targeting. So let's go with Carrington Valentine, the corner out of Kentucky. Good press man corner. Yeah, you're hoping J.C. Jackson comes back healthy this year. You already have Asante Samuel, but getting more corners is never a bad thing in the draft. And at this rate, at pick number 158, you don't know if these guys are going to start. They're more likely going to play special teams. So I think it's okay to take that corner there and then set things up for maybe taking Zach Kuntz, the tight end we wanted earlier here. The guy who's lower on these databases right now, but he had a really good combine and really, I think, helped his stock. So I think he's a guy who could end up going higher. Tight end seems to be a big need for the Chargers, according to the mock draft database. But I don't think, with Gerald Everett, I don't think they're losing that much over some of the guys if they don't get one of the top guys in the draft. So we're going to move on to the last pick of the draft, pick number 241 for the Chargers. Henry Bainivalu out of Washington, interior lineman. The Washington has a couple guys in this draft class. Get some interior offensive line depth. And all right, we'll go to this recap here. We have Peter Skoronski, the first pick for the Chargers. A guy, again, recruited as a center. A lot of people think he might move inside, but he can play tackle if you want. So, you obviously, Slater's playing left tackle. Do you put him at right tackle? Do you move Salier inside? Do you put Skoronski inside? Ultimately, I don't think it matters. I think both of them can be successful on the inside or the outside. Mazi Smith, the defensive lineman out of Michigan. One of those kind of freak-like players. Second round, I think, really helps you run defense. There's, the edge rushers are there for the Chargers, but getting someone who can plug up the middle, or at least help plug up the middle, and Mazi Smith is really good. Deion Henley, the linebacker out of Washington State, has been kind of a little bit of a riser the last several weeks for the NFL draft process. Drew Tranquil is a free agent. I think the Chargers could upgrade at linebacker anyway. You get the wide receiver in Jaden Reed, maybe play in the slot, maybe help take some pressure off of Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Carrington Valentine, corner depth's never a bad thing, good press corner. Zach Kuntz, who's an athletic tight end, and we'll see if the combine maybe helps his draft status out here. He might be a guy who goes in the top 200, maybe a little bit earlier than that 200th overall selection that we took him at here with the Chargers. And Henry Bainivalu, the interior offensive lineman from Washington. A couple of Washington offensive linemen are in this draft. A guy who can provide some depth for you. Overall, like the draft for the Chargers, again, you get that offensive line fixed a little bit, give Justin Herbert some more time to throw. And I think that's really been something that's been big. You might want to go wide receiver in some of these mock drafts. If the board doesn't fall the way it did in this mock draft where there's more wide receivers available, someone like Zay Flowers, Jalen Hylett, someone who can stretch the field and open things up for this team, that's probably the pick, but I don't think you can pass on the offensive line value here. I think this is a team that could make the playoffs again, could go on a little bit of a run there in the playoffs if they're able to keep some of their guys, don't have too many cap casualties as we move forward. All right, it is my turn to remind everyone to like and subscribe to the channel if you like this video. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments. We'll be back in the future to do more mock drafts as we go through this mock draft series. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.